Is it essential that there be a moon man, and prom pictures apparently too, at the intersection of Main and Broadway Street here in Weatherford, Oklahoma? Well, no, because there used to be a gazebo there until pretty recently. But, so it's not essential that it be the way it is. In fact, is it essential that it's even Broadway and Main Street here? Well, no, this could be a different arrangement of streets. It could be like on a diagonal or something, or this highway could be a whole mile south, right? Or think of the arrangement of your house. It is the way it is. You have the bedrooms here, and the kitchen there, and the garage there, and the dining room over here. But it could be some other way, right? It doesn't have to be the way that it is. And most things in life are like that. They are the way they are, but, they kind of develop naturally. They don't have to be the way that they are. But that's not how our faith works. Jesus established things to be a particular way for a particular reason. He gave us the way to worship Him in the Mass and the sacraments, and that's not something that is a development of history. It's not something that came along later. It's not something that, is just a human invention, that we could be something else. No, it is the way it is on purpose. In fact, we know that because, even throughout Scripture, we have lots of things where the apostles break bread together, but today's gospel I love the most because it's the road to Emmaus. And if you notice, maybe you didn't, the Mass is hidden there in it, actually quite in plain sight. So Jesus comes along to meet the disciples on the way. They walk along, He explains the Scripture to them, and He makes Himself known to them in the breaking of the bread. Awesome. The Mass is there, right? What do we do at Mass? We gather together, we read it, we engage the Scriptures, we have them explained to us, right? And then the breaking of the bread happens, and we go out from there. Well, the apostles are walking along. Jesus comes to them. Think of the Lord be with you at the beginning of Mass. And then Scriptures are broken open for them. And then breaking of bread happens, and they go out from there and share the good news. The basic structure of Mass is right there in the story of the road to Emmaus. And that shows us in many ways, but that's one of the main ones, that the Mass was the way it's meant to be from the beginning. It's not an invention later on. And not just there, but again, all throughout Scripture, Book of Revelation has stuff like this. Tons of places in Scripture have things that make it apparent. And obviously, if you understand it, if you have the mind of the church and the mind of Christian history, the Mass has been there the whole time. And therefore, we can know that Jesus meant it to be essential for our lives as Christians. The Eucharist is not an accident or a side note or an if we feel like it. It is how He meant us fundamentally after the resurrection to engage with Him, to receive. And the other sacraments too, confirmation, baptism, going to confession, last rites, the holy orders, the other sacraments too. But the Eucharist is the source and the center point of our encounter with the Lord. And He shows it even on the day of His resurrection, in that evening, when He's revealed to them in the breaking of the bread. That is no accident. The Lord is teaching us and showing us from the very beginning that the Mass and the Eucharist is essential to the life of every Christian.